All right, happy Saturday. Welcome back to the Craft Beer Climbing channel. And today we've got an actual review for you, I promise. Not a gag, we're not doing Twisted Tea, we're not doing Mike's Hard or anything like that. We have proper craft beer from a proper craft brewery here in the great state of Arizona. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So this is taking a look at the two flagship IPAs, or flagship beers from Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. I love Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company, and I could easily go on and on and on about why I love them and the different reasons, and we'll touch on a few of them. Our main focus on this channel is going to be the beers and maybe a little bit of the stories that kind of go around it. So if we go back a couple years ago, I refused to drink craft beer. I used to think it was a competition to make the most pine tasting beer in existence. And to me, I'm like, if I wanted to taste a pine tree, I would go outside and suck on some pine needles. That was just the mentality I had. And because of that closed-minded attitude in the realm of craft beer, and of course thinking that it was solely for hipsters with beards and flannels and everything else, and here I am talking to you wearing a flannel, sporting a beard, and a hipstery haircut. And I had a coworker one day tell me, hey, if you're in Phoenix, you gotta check out Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. Their beer's great, but I know you're not into craft beer. Try their pork belly cider. I'm in Phoenix. I swing by the brewery in Gilbert, find myself in the tasting room. I order my food, and the bartender is like, hey, do you want any beer? And I, of course, did my usual spiel. Oh, I'm not into IPAs. They're too bitter. They're too blah, blah, blah. I thought, all right, fine, I'll give it a go. Half a flight's not that expensive. Order my beers, and no joke, one after another, in my head as I'm drinking, like, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good. And lo and behold, I wound up leaving the brewery with probably about $60 of to-go beer. I love what they do, what they stand for, what the owners are accomplishing with sustainability, incorporating our state into the beers, for the locals they get their produce from, for their food, ingredients for their beers. Any way that they can incorporate Arizona into the beers, they do it. And without further ado, let's get to the beers. So I have in front of me, as I said, two of what they consider their flagship beers to be. One is the La Ciudad Hazy IPA, or Cloudy IPA they call it, and the other is their Refuge Arizona IPA. So first off with the Refuge IPA, again, I consider this more of like a West Coast style IPA. It's an unfiltered IPA as far as I know, so it possesses a kind of copper orange color, has a fairly citrus heavy profile to it. Grapefruit, lemon, but then again with that West Coast side of the beer coming out, it has that piney back end on it. Fantastic beer, you can see that. Go ahead and pour this other one here. And then again, their Cloudy IPA. This one's brewed with Citra and Mosaic hops. This one was actually made to celebrate them opening their downtown Phoenix location, their beer garden, which is also a beautiful location. And you can just see the two different color palettes there for these guys. And it goes without saying, for these to be flagship beers, so first of all, if you don't know what that term means, if you go to a craft brewery and they say this is our flagship IPA or our flagship stout or something along those lines, typically it means it's either a beer they're really well known for, or it's a beer that they brew on a fairly regular basis. So typically if you go to either of the locations in Gilbert or downtown Phoenix for these beers, you can almost always be guaranteed to get yourself a Refuge or a La Ciudad. La Ciudad, a little bit of stats, you got 6.4% ABV. Again, it's brewed with Citra and Mosaic hops. The Refuge Arizona IPA is also, I believe, 6.8% ABV, so a little bit less than this guy, a little bit more than the La Ciudad, and I believe it's still brewed with the same hops, but a different style. So again, on the aroma, you get some citrus notes, grapefruit peel, maybe a little bit of tangerine, gorgeous cloudy head on that guy. And just a super refreshing, super delicious IPA. Again, This one is more towards the West Coast style, so it does have more of that pine aftertaste on the backside of it, a little bit of a bitterness to it, but it's not super bad. It honestly you do have a lot of citrus, as I said, flavor on there as well, and it just makes for a fantastic, enjoyable IPA. Of the two of these, I prefer the La Ciudad. Just the cloudy nature of it makes it much smoother. You still have, obviously, a fairly citrus forward profile because of the Citra Mosaic hops. Fairly aromatic, a little bit of a floralness to it, but it is lacking that bitterness that the Refuge IPA has. Two fantastic beers, flagship IPAs from Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. You'll be seeing a lot of these guys on this channel because they are my #1 brewery in the state of Arizona. I hope you enjoyed this review, or reviews technically. As always, check out the Instagram, the TikTok, and the Untappd at CraftBeerClimber, same handle across the board. If you like this video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing to your friends and your family that might be looking for stuff like this. It's been a hell of a first week of 2021, I'll say that much, and I think we're going to be in for quite an interesting year. So, as always, climb hard, crush cans, repeat.